the IPO and the other details of the issue?
It's an IPO of Sandhar is 300 crores of primary and an offer for sale of 64 lakh shares that the private equity GTI owns in the country. That's the size. Well, like I said, the primary issue is 300 crores that comes into the company, out of which we want to extinguish our long-term debt of about 225 crores. The balance is for general corporation. That's the plan. In terms of future, we've made large investments of about 600 plus crores in the last 5 years into areas that are new, which are inorganic. But we are playing a lot in the region of auto electronics, in the region of new mandates of the government, whether they be emission norms, whether they be auto electronics, like I said. So we are looking at growth coming from those particular areas. So there is one portion of growth that will come from the existing components that we have, which will grow at the rate of how the auto industry grows. But there would be additional growth that will come in from the new areas.
What are the other products you are expected to launch in those?
I mentioned, so there is auto electronics. There are safety items, whether they be our smart key systems. We are on our way. We have a tie-up for helmets. We have a tie-up for fuel pumps, oil filters, air filters, starter motors, relays. We already started. We've also just started ADN panels, rear parking sensors, tire pressure motors. So a large part, as you see, is related to either safety or to passenger comfort or to the mandate of the government.
You said like 67% of your revenue is coming from 5 top.
That's right.
Okay, so who are these top 5?
So we started off 30 years ago with one customer, that was Hero, Honda then, and Hero Motorcorp now, with a small sheet metal part. Today we have 79 OEMs. You're absolutely right. The top 5 give us a little over 65% of revenue. Hero still remains as the largest, with almost 28% of revenue. The others are growing as we speak. So Hero is probably number 1, TVS would be number 2, Honda cars could probably be number 3, Enfield would be number 4, Bosch, TRW, so then the number becomes numbers.
So, government has not sent a clear picture of any electronic vehicles. What is your opinion? Should you go forward with this electric vehicle precaution?
Well, there's one thing that all of us are in agreement with, which is that the emissions need to be controlled. And as some people say, blue sky for the children. I think there is no two ways about it. But it's just a question of how can we reduce it as we move forward. However, having said that, whether that will be through electric vehicles or whether that will be through fuel cell vehicles or hybrids or a combination of things is something that the industry, the government and everybody together will have to do. While electric vehicles is a very good idea, it does require a huge amount of infrastructure to come into place. It also, one must keep in mind that battery costs still have to go down significantly. It also means that the range that the batteries provide in terms of driving kilometers still has to go up significantly. For all this to happen would mean that it will be quite a while away before that happens. The government is now saying 30% of the vehicles by 2030. Even if that were to be the case, we are also looking at by 2030, the number of vehicles on Indian roads will probably be 3 times of where we are. So 30% of that number would still mean that the existing technologies would be a large part, significantly. So the government is correct, and I think the industry is working and putting a lot of money towards investment for Euro 6 right now. So that's something that needs to happen now. EVs will start, but it's still a long, long way to go before all the things that I spoke about earlier mature into making it mass adoption.
So in this changing scenario, what kind of opportunity do you find for your company?
Our R&D has been working on several aspects in this, several new components. These are areas where there would be new levels of opportunity that will come about. At this point of time, our company is not into any of the existing powertrains as well. So it's not as if we make anything for gasoline or diesel engines that is going to change. So we are not affected by it, whether it is gasoline, diesel, or electric vehicles or fuel cell vehicles. Our components will still go there. But in addition to what we do presently, this would give us an opportunity of a new kind altogether. We are looking at it as we speak today. It is still a while away before we can figure out what those components would be and how do we make it will depend on the market, it will depend on the horizon, it will depend on government policy and adoption of this particular technology.
So one more question. So in the past few years, as you have said earlier, you are actively engaged in this investment and JVs. And you know JVs we can expect.
We have 16 technical associations today, out of which 8 are JVs. Most of them are new and in the new areas that I spoke about. The oldest one that we have is the Khandalog, that's over 30 years old now. We continue to prosper with that relationship. But there are several new ones that have come in all the areas, of whether they are auto electronics or fuel pumps or air filters or starter motors or avian panels.
What is your view on the auto sector?
Well, I personally believe the auto sector today looks extremely good. The government is very proactive and a lot of things that have come to a standstill are now moving. So if you look at infrastructure that had come to a standstill since coal mines were shut, now all of that opening up, roads, buildings, roads, coal mines and all means that the construction sector has started to do extremely well. So construction equipment is doing extremely well, growing very, very well. You have roads, you have GST that's coming, which means that now you can have stress-free journeys of goods transport, which means the commercial vehicle market are doing extremely well. The government's policy on agriculture, which is going to benefit farmers and so on, means that there is renewed demand of two-wheelers. So you've seen two-wheelers go up. The four-wheelers, as it is, passenger vehicles are doing well. So at this point of time, I don't see any in agriculture, tractors as well. So I don't see any aspect or any portion of the auto industry which is going to do well. So I would think that with the progressive policies of the government, the economy doing well, I see no reason why these are good times for the auto industry and industries of this country.